Today we're going to talk about possessing a firearm in the state of Florida. Jay from Trigger Train Academy, firearms instructor here in Central Florida. Been teaching CCW classes for about 5 years now. Private lessons, weapon handling. Red Team Protection Service is our security services. That's where we provide armed and unarmed security. So if you need those, all the contact information is in the description below. Getting into the meat of it. Firearm possession inside of a car in the state of Florida. This is easily the topic I have gotten asked the most questions about. It is the most confusing for people. I explain it a lot of different ways, and I would just put it in this video specifically talking about this subject because this is the one that a lot of people have questions about. Whether you can open carry in the car, you can't open carry, can you keep one in the chamber, does the ammo have to be separate, all the different things, we're going to cover them in this video. So, to start off, you could be in possession of a firearm inside of a car at 18 in the state of Florida. Possession does not mean you can purchase, so you cannot purchase at 18, but you are allowed to be in possession. So if your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, friend, cousin, sister, doesn't matter who, if somebody gave you a firearm and that firearm is legal, it is not stolen, it has not been used in a crime, it is a legal, clean firearm, you are allowed at 18 to be in possession of it while inside of the car. Granted, I'm gonna make this caveat, if you're an 18-year-old that is still in high school, you are not allowed to be on the school property with that firearm in your car at any point in time while you're an active student. After you graduate, or if you're not on property, you go home and you get the gun, put it in the car because you got to go to work. That's fine, but you cannot have a firearm in the car while you're on school property. To continue, when the firearm is inside of the car, it must either be securely encased or not readily accessible. Prior to us going permitless carry, I used to get a lot of people calling me about third-degree felony possession charges. A lot of times they would be going through the divergent program, so a judge would send them to my class so they could learn the firearms laws, because it's usually not worth giving a minor or somebody a felony charge when they just really didn't understand the difference in the sentence, and there are a lot of misconstruing information or just false information out there. So judges would try to save people and send them through a divergent program, which is what I used to see a lot. I haven't seen it as much since we've gone permitless carry, but securely encased makes a firearm not readily accessible, which is usually the charge they try to get you with. My friend got hit with that charge. It cost him $5,000 to beat in court. To securely encase a firearm means to put it inside of a holster. Holster is the golden rule in my opinion, but other places that count. Holster, center console, glove compartment, book bag, whether or not zippered, box with a lid on it, or just honestly anything that it has to be encapsulated in. Even if you put it in a plastic bag and zippered that bag, you know, the bag doesn't even have to be zippered. If you have a book bag and it's not zippered, or a gun bag and it's not zippered, that also counts as being securely encased. So those all count. A holster is just the easiest thing, it's the safest thing in my opinion. Vader holsters, you can, pick up some stuff from them. I'll give them a quick little shout out. Inside of a holster, and it says snapped inside of a holster. If we just check it, sounds like a firearm snapped to me. So snapped inside of a holster is the first criteria to easily just make yourself safe. Now, are you allowed to have a fully loaded mag and one in the chamber? Absolutely, when it's securely encased. Every day of the year, 365 days a year, when my gun is in the car with me, there is a fully loaded mag and there is a chambered round in there +1 all the time, and it's always sitting in this holster. The reason I stress this holster so much to everybody is because nothing can pull the trigger. Now, I know this is a SIG. All of you guys that hate SIG out there are going to give me a bunch of flack about this one, but I've been putting this thing between my legs for about the last 3 years. I've been using it on duty for about the last 3 years as well. I've fallen on it, beat it, dropped it, and it's never gone off. Disclaimer about my SIG. Can't speak for everybody else. But put it in there and you are good to go from that point forward. Like, it is the golden rule. Whenever you look at a police officer, their firearm is where? Inside of the holster. If you copy the same thing they're doing, they can't tell you're being negligent with it. So inside of a holster is the #1 guaranteed thing to do at all times, in my opinion. That makes a firearm not readily accessible. Now, what is a readily accessible firearm? A firearm, let's say I were to take this out, fully loaded mag, one up top, as I just mentioned, take it out the holster and I put it inside of on the passenger seat. All I gotta do to access that firearm is put my hand on it, pick it up, and shoot it. That's a readily accessible firearm. Now, that is a great way to catch a charge. Now, since we've gone permitless carry, can you still catch that charge? Absolutely. I do still think you would be able to catch a permitless carry or a readily accessible charge. Now, it's gonna be a lot more rare. I don't see nearly as many charges like since July 2023. I have not seen a single readily accessible charge come through my academy. So, not to say that it can't be charged, just it's very unlikely at this point in time. But a firearm that is inside, just out, ammo is inside of it, that is considered a readily accessible firearm. So if you have an AR and you have the magazine inside of it, that's a readily accessible firearm. talking about the AR brings up a very an important next topic. Can you carry other guns inside of the car that are not an AR, that are not a pistol? Absolutely. If you want to carry a shotgun, if you want to carry an AR pistol, if you want to carry a long gun, a 16-inch AR, you are allowed to carry those inside of the car. My criteria for those are make them not readily accessible. It's very impractical to have a fully loaded mag and one up top in the AR. Like, that's just not how most people, not even cops, are riding around like that. So I say make the ammunition, take the ammunition out, keep them separate, or just zip it up in a bag and you were good to go. But if you don't have a bag, wrap it in a towel. If you don't have a bag, you can wrap it in a towel. You can honestly leave the gun out in the back seat and you could take the ammo and put it in the center console. That's good to go. That's not readily accessible in that situation. My best bet is I say find a zippered bag for it. I oftentimes don't have a zipper bag, so it's either in the trunk. Again, perfectly fine place to keep it, but it does not have to be in the trunk. You can keep a gun anywhere else inside of the car as long as it is either securely encased or not readily accessible. It's one or the other type of criteria in this situation. Shotguns, long guns, doesn't matter what kind of gun, all guns are allowed to be inside of the car. Now, does the firearm have to be concealed? The answer is no. There's nothing in the statute that says you must conceal the firearm while inside of the car. Now, the center console, glove compartment, book bag, and all those places do conceal the firearm, but that is not a criteria to actually have the firearm inside of the car. So people then say, like, if you carry the firearm in front of your seatbelt buckle, that is considered open carrying. No, it's not. And here's the rabbit hole you have to go down. The definition of concealed is a firearm that is hidden from the ordinary sight. The definition of an open carried firearm is a firearm that is seen with the ordinary sight. If you think about when you're driving, have you ever seen a gun in somebody's car with the ordinary sight? If I'm parked here and you're parked right there, can you see a gun that is at my seatbelt buckle with the ordinary sight? No. Somebody that would be looking into my car, we could argue, what purpose does a regular average citizen have to look inside of my car? It is not their property. It is not their dwelling. What are they doing looking inside of my car? It looks like they're starting to get, like, criminal mischief could be afoot. It looks like they could potentially be trying to break into my car. The only time an average citizen would be looking into the car is if it was a police officer, which is not an average citizen. It's a police officer. In those instances, you could get into a statutory debate with the police on the terms of open carry and whether it's legal or not. I choose not to, because I just want to make the traffic interaction as quick as possible and not have to deal with it. But if you are driving around just your everyday, you're not being pulled over, you're just driving down the street and you want to keep it in a quick access place, because let's be honest, appendix carry is not comfortable. It is very uncomfortable to sit with a firearm on your appendix, no matter how big or small it is. So I always take it and I put it in the center. I put it right in front of the seatbelt buckle. It's not considered open carry because I am not outside of the car. I would have to be outside of the car, and somebody that is walking around the public would have to be able to see the firearm with the ordinary sight in order for it to be openly carried. And if we look at the areas in this Florida statute that says places that you cannot open carry, a car is not on that list of places that you cannot open carry. Now, people argue that when you're driving to or from hunting, fishing, or camping, you are allowed to open carry in these instances. So the same thing would apply when you're inside of the car driving to any other place, just because you're not specifically going hunting, fishing, or camping. Or should I say it this way? Hunting, fishing, or camping is not the only criteria that you can actually open carry while inside of the car. Understand, your car is your dwelling. So if your car is your dwelling, you do have the right to do whatever you want inside of your dwelling, which is private property at that instance. So you could open carry inside of there. Now, the moment you were to get out of the car, let's say you're going to fill up gas at 7-Eleven, from that point, if you get out of the car and the person next to the gas station or the person at the front at the gas pump next to you can see the gun on your waist openly, well, now you're in possession. Now that is an open carry firearm. That is a crime. But as long as you're in the car with the door closed, that is not considered an open carried firearm. You could not be charged with open carrying a firearm because the firearm could not be seen with the ordinary sight by an ordinary individual just walking by or just driving by. Therefore, having it in front of the seatbelt buckle, having it in the center console, as long as it's in this holster, let's always preface anything I'm talking about and anything I've said, I'm referencing it being inside of the holster, securely encased in the holster, in front of the seatbelt buckle, in the cup holder, wherever on your lap from that point. It's perfectly fine because it is securely encased and you are not within public view. You are within the private dwelling of your car, which is considered your home or an extension of your home in that moment. So I hope that clears it up. And to just summarize everything I've said one last time, yes, you can, at 18, you can be in legal possession of a firearm while inside of the car. In order to do so, the firearm needs to either be securely encased or otherwise not readily accessible. Securely encased, the easiest definition is snapped in the holster. Additional places you can keep it: center console, glove compartment, or a book bag. All of those places count. Yes, you are allowed to carry other firearms inside of the car that are not a pistol. AR, shotgun, AR pistol, you are allowed to carry them. It must be the same criteria. Securely encased, meaning in a zippered bag, gun bag, book bag, if it's an AR pistol, something like that, or not readily accessible. Again, if it's anything besides a pistol like this, I'd recommend making it not readily accessible, taking the ammo out, keeping them separate. Even if they're in the same bag, just making them separate in that moment. Are you allowed to have the firearm? Does the firearm have to be concealed on your person? No, the firearm does not have to be concealed on your person while you're inside of that car. It could be in the center, the seatbelt buckle, or anywhere in the open view, as long as it is securely encased. Here's the one thing I almost forgot to mention. If you are 18 to 20, you specifically are not allowed to have the firearm on your person while inside of the car. Yes, you could be in possession of it. Yes, you can securely encase it inside of a holster. But the moment the firearm is tucked into your waistband in any way, shape, or form, you are in possession of a concealed weapon at that point. And if the police were to pull you over and ask you to step out of the car, if you do not remove that firearm off of your waistband by the time they ask you to step out of the car, they're going to charge you with possession of a concealed weapon. So between 18 to 20, even though you're allowed to be in possession of a firearm, the 790.025 statute does not give you permission to actually conceal carry. It just gives you the ability to possess a firearm. That is something that I have to specify to you guys, because it's the one caveat. If you're 21 plus, it does not matter for you. You can keep it on your person, wherever you want inside of the car. Again, securely encased or make it not readily accessible, one or the other. That is as simplified as the criteria as I can give it to you. If you've got questions, you can text me or you can just comment in the comment section. I'll answer your questions. I do read every comment. Yeah, I just hope that really summed it up for you, and I hope that made it very plain for you. If I need to make another video, I absolutely will. I have no issue. I've done it for years now. Pick up your Off the Beat merchandise. You can get it in the description down below. Somewhere in the video it should be linked. Go and watch the actual full Florida permitless carry rules and laws in this section somewhere on the screen. You can actually go and watch that video, the full 40-minute length video. If you actually want a concealed weapon license and you're in Florida, the booking link will be down in the description below once again, or you can contact me at the number that is also down in the description to book your class. $75. If you want a weapons handling class, you can also book me for that. Again, description down below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Stay on mission. I will see y'all in the next video.
This shit off the